You're listening to Pink Lady Presents, only on LA Talk Radio.
I'm gonna live till I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take the town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live until I die.
Hi there. Welcome to Pink Lady Presents It Ain't Over Till You Say It's Over. I am so excited today because I have a real winner with me. Well, look at this beautiful lady. Is that not a winner? Nancy Osbourne. And before we begin, Nancy, I want everyone out there to hear your lovely voice and see your beauty. So, Nancy Osbourne, take it away.
All right. Let me tell you about a boy I know. He's my baby and he loves me so. Every morning before the sun comes up, he brings me coffee in my favorite cup. That's how I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love him so. When I'm in trouble and I have no friends, I know he'll go with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I smile and tell him because he told me so. That's how I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love him so. When I call him on the telephone, I tell him that I'm all alone. By the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear him at my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, and there is nobody else around, he kisses me and then he holds me tight. He tells me, baby, everything's alright. That's how I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love him so. This is when I go on the audience. I find a nice, handsome man and play with his hair and sit on his lap,
I know.
That's how I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love him so. When I call him on the telephone and tell him that I'm all alone, by the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear him at my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, and there is nobody else around, kisses me and then he holds me tight. He tells me, baby, everything's alright. That's how I know. Yes, I know. Hallelujah, I just love him so. Hallelujah, I just love him so. Hallelujah, I just love him so.
Wow. Sit right down here.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, I think one of the things that you need to share with the audience, when you introduce Nancy as a winner, you have to expand upon
That's
that.
what
Was it that she
Right.
won?
Well, I had the privilege of producing a show called America Salutes Our Veterans. And it was really like a star search.
That's right.
And guess who won? More over there.
First place.
Nancy, first place. And she was fabulous. In fact, you're going to hear the song that she won with in a little while. So you were born in Maysville, Kentucky.
Home of Rosemary Clooney
Yes.
and Nancy Jo Osbourne.
Oh, well, hello. Yes. I mean, but right
Now,
away.
she has a street named after her.
Really?
There's no Nancy Osbourne Street yet, but there's still
But
time.
there will be. You have plenty of time. You're young. It's going to happen. But the most funny thing that I read was that, I mean, you were one of 7 sisters?
No boys.
No boys. Wow. What did your father do? But
My
cry?
father was a singing chiropractor.
Oh, maybe that was the problem. Wow.
He had to have his
okay.
choir behind him.
I love it.
Actually, he went around and that was one of the ways that he talked to people and people would invite him to come and sing, and we were sort of his opening act.
So he sang.
My dad was a singing
goodness.
chiropractor.
I love it.
he had to support his kids some way. He couldn't support him as a singer, so he became a doctor. Right. And I was always the featured soloist.
Now, in the range of 1 to 7, where do you come in?
Number 6, and that's very smart because people that are from big families, what number are you?
Well, yeah, you know.
I'm number 6, next to the baby.
I love that. I mean, I wanted to know because 7, that's almost not 3 or 2.
We always had a lot of boys around the house.
I could imagine, yeah.
So you had a musical family, and then you started when you were like 3. I mean, I'm sure you
I
were
did. My mother put me on television actually when I was 3.
Wow.
And I sang Sugar in the Morning.
Ooh, okay.
And
at 3.
At 3.
McGuire's sisters. Right?
And
Is that McGuire?
actually, I came out here at 17 from Kentucky. I came out. I was one of 17 other people from all over the United States to come out and sing with the Young Americans.
Oh,
and my mother
wow.
said she knew when she put me on that airplane I was never going back.
I think that
she was right.
And she was right. I stayed out here. I loved it. I met finally other people like me, and it was just wonderful.
Now, you also, tell me about the Walt Disney production.
Well, actually, so I did the Young Americans for about 2 years, and then I auditioned for a group called Kids of the Kingdom, which was through Disney. It was a college work experience program, and I did that for the summer. There were 6 guys, 6 girls, singing and dancing, taking classes in the entertainment business in the morning, and doing 5 shows through the day. And then we did a big production, and we got college units at the end of the summer.
Oh, wow, that's fabulous.
And I was invited to stay and be in a professional Kids of the Kingdom
at
the park at the Disneyland. And we did a Red Skelton special. We did commercials and
how long did you do that?
I did that for a couple of years, and then they hired me, and I toured all over the United States and Canada in their private Disney plane, and I did TV talk shows and kiddie shows, and promoted a cartoon movie called The Rescuers.
Oh,
I remember
my goodness,
that.
that's fabulous.
Then they wrote a show with me in mind because I'm from Kentucky and did have a Kentucky accent. And with a glass,
I didn't hear that.
With a glass of wine, it really comes out.
Where's the wine? We want to hear it.
Those of us from Boston don't know anything about that.
No, nothing at all.
It's a great idea, though.
No, where's the car? Oh my!
So they wrote a show, a country western, sort of a musical review with me in mind, and I did that for several years. That was called the Yahoo Review. And
the Yahoo Review.
Before there was a Yahoo.
Yeah. and then I started singing. It was the 25-year anniversary for Disney, and the Golden Horseshoe Saloon, which was the show that was Walt Disney's favorite.
Right.
And Betty Taylor did the show in the day. She was the original Slewfoot Sue. And I did the show at night and was Slewfoot Sue.
Well, what was the difference? I mean, why were you at night if she was a day?
Well, she couldn't do all 10 shows a day.
Right.
It's like when you did your musical and you had 2 casts.
Right.
A matinee cast and
right.
evening
So
cast.
there was a day cast and then there was a night cast because it was the 25-year anniversary.
And was it like all country type songs?
No. It was a musical review, the Golden Horseshoe Review, where we had can dancers, and I was sort of the boss of the can girls. I was sort of like a Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke kind of person. I would go out and sing a big song and find the bald-headed man and kiss him and make jokes and it was so fun.
And how long did you do that?
I did that for quite a few years, and then I went on the national tour of for Little Abner, national Broadway tour.
How did you get that?
I auditioned for it, and my character's name was Appassionata von Climax.
This is a very good audience. Are you listening to this? Okay.
And I did that tour, so I left Disney and went on the road, did the tour.
And what type of songs did you do?
I could sing pretty much circles around most of those people, and mine was an acting role.
Really? Oh, I never knew that you did that acting. Wow,
and so I came back and ended up getting married and had 2 children and kind of dropped out of the business and raised my children. And
do you have any grandchildren?
I don't have grandchildren. My son has 10 cats, and my daughter's getting married this next fall.
Oh,
in
fabulous!
2019.
Okay, well you still have a lot of time there, and so do they.
And so, just one thing would one door would close and another one would open. It was just
after
constant.
Lil Abner, you also I saw did cabaret and
did
gypsy.
Cabaret. I did gypsy. I was Mama Rose in Gypsy. That was
really?
wonderful.
Oh, wow.
And I wish that I could actually do that role now, because as an older person,
yes.
it's a whole different.
It is a whole different way of doing it.
Right,
yes.
right. I would really be Mama Rose.
Okay,
now.
all right. We have to think about that. No, we have to think about
really
that.
Be Mama Rose.
But also big bands. Where did that come in your life?
Well, those years at Disneyland, one of the other girls that was in the show with me was singing with her husband's big band, and she ended up starting to sing with another group, another show, and she needed a sub. And she said, "Nancy, you'd be perfect for this." And so that all of a sudden I started subbing for her, and then another band knew that they needed a singer, and all of a sudden you start getting music and you have a book, and suddenly
And you're a big band singer.
Suddenly I'm a big band singer, and I've been doing that.
Well, Nelson Riddle, what was he like?
Well, actually, Nelson was not alive.
Oh, okay.
It's his son, Christopher, that runs that band now. And Christopher is just a replica of his dad, though.
Really?
Looks just exactly like Nelson. And that was wonderful. I've also worked with Ray Anthony. Ray Anthony is a tiny little petite man, very similar to you.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Ray Anthony found out that I liked younger men. So he told me he was 84 and he was really 88.
I love it. That's cute. That is cute. Well, yeah, we're a little younger. You know, that's a 4 years.
And he would say, "Come on, Nancy, let's go arm in arm, because everyone thinks that the singer is sleeping with the band leader anyway." I was like, whatever.
Now, who, and tell us about the Chordettes.
Oh, yes. That was a wonderful opportunity. I got called, I sang with the Chordettes for 8 years. Mr. Sandman, bum, 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 bum. And as a matter of fact, I always like to show my part. You think we're all singing bum, 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 bum. And my part goes like this. Bum, 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 Sandman. Thank you.
Way, really? I love
but
that.
the check still has the same zeros on it.
I love it.
We all have our bums.
Now, you have a couple of CDs out. One is called Key of Love, and the other is Hot Swing Cool Jazz.
That's right.
Now, if someone would like to get them, how do they get them?
Well, I'm on a website called cdbaby.com, which is very popular. And I'm also on iTunes, and you can buy them digitally.
Okay.
Nancy, just if you went into Nancy Osbourne. That's OSBORNE. There's no U.
Okay. You want to say that again to our audience?
iTunes.
Go ahead.
And just type in Nancy Osbourne. OSBORNE.
I love it. Well, is everybody out there in our audience ready to hear the song that won in America's Salutes Our Veterans, Nancy, first winner?
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Well, it's a kind of family show here. Not radio, TV.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. a song of you, just as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pine. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, still in peaceful dreams I see our road leads back to you. Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Well, I mean,
Wait, and I want the audience to know that when you won singing that song, we had a packed house at the Wadsworth Theater on the VA grounds, 1,300 people.
got up
that
and
was
And they
cheered.
were standing and cheering.
It
There was
was.
no
It
doubt
was-
about who
It really
won.
was. And you also sing with a band that I adore, Bill Jones.
I sing with Bill Jones, and apparently he's going to be one of your
Yes,
guest
he
stars.
is.
We
He is
went to
just
see him a week ago.
As a
Right.
matter of fact, we are Bill and I are touring right now in a show called Battle of the Big Bands, and it's
love it.
Tommy Dorsey versus Glenn Miller.
Oh,
So
I
there's
love
two
that.
big bands on stage at the same time. And Bill is the male vocalist and the MC, and I'm the female vocalist. So I go to one side of the stage, I sing a Tommy Dorsey song, and then I go over to the other side of the stage, I sing a Glenn Miller song, and the audience votes at the end.
I love
great.
it. Well,
It's just been a huge hit.
all I can say is that I have to say, I'm honest. I am blessed. I am blessed with knowing these people with lives well lived and are living like Nancy Osbourne.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
beautiful, talented, and you know what, Nancy? You're going to be out there for 100 years, and God
so.
willing, I'll be here to cheer you on.
Oh, thank you,
you
Pink.
so
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
We will be right back. God love you. I believe it is not the breaths we take in life that count. It's what we do with the breaths we take. And I should know. 84 years young. Today on this stage, you will see talented performers all over the age of 60.
Life is a cabaret, old chum. It's only a cabaret, old chum.
Money! You got lots of friends hanging around that door.
I'm gonna live and live now, 'cause everything's coming up rosy.
Then your fingers touched my silent heart and taught it how to sing.
Dear, with your lips to mine, oh, rhapsody divine, sing with the strings of my heart.
To reach the unreachable stars.
But I've got to do it all in 3 minutes or less. How about maybe ragtime? How about boogie woogie?
Woo! Darling, let's dance. Let the music take us. The blues ain't gonna break us. We won't give it no chance.
Just
You've treated me so kind, I'm about to lose my mind. You made me so very happy.
So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
To reach the unreachable star.
We are honored in so many ways to have Tommy Lasorda in our lives.
It was good to see the youngsters performing up there.
Miss Ann Margaret.
Senior Star Power Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Tony Orlando.
Hit it, my boy. Let's see what we get here. Come on, you.
Well, I want you to know that Pink Lady and Chaplain DOV, we feel so safe at this moment, you cannot believe it. Welcome back to Pink Lady Presents It Ain't Over Till You Say It's Over. Because right at this moment, I don't think we could feel any safer, because sitting beside me is Detective Andy Kleinick, who is the cyber crime, what would you say, of the Los Angeles Police Department head of this whole cyber crime security issue.
For LAPD,
For
yes.
LAPD.
And I was telling Andy when he walked into the studio, I said, you know, we just had the magnificent Nancy Osbourne. Don't think
Fantastic.
of following Nancy. Nancy opened for you.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Now it's the Andy Kleinick show.
And don't ask me to sing.
I won't ask you to sing.
Okay.
If you don't ask me, I won't ask you. But the big question is, we know you came through the ranks.
Right.
Tell us about your life and tell us about the importance of cybersecurity. I was privileged, Pink and I were at a meeting that was hosted by Chuck Ashman and sponsored by Union Bank.
Right.
And we addressed the problem that veterans tend to be the victims very frequently in disproportion.
Victims and seniors.
So I have nothing more to say other than welcome to the show, and it's yours.
Thank you, and thank you both for having me here. And it's an honor to be here because what you two do for the veterans community and the seniors and for everybody is amazing. And I just want to thank you for that. And really quick about me, what I do is I've got a little over 31 years on the LAPD.
Wow.
I'm old. Yeah.
No, you're not old. You're mature.
If I had your energy, I'd feel a lot younger.
Tell them what your next birthday will be.
In 2 weeks, I will be 86 years young. Yeah. So when
you're just
you
starting.
get up there in a long time,
I hope I have your energy and look like you.
I don't know if you want to look like her. I don't think pink hair would become you. So.
I don't know.
You never know, right?
Exactly.
So you try it.
I'll be the pink man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is cyber crime? What is all this?
Well,
Go ahead.
you know, it's something that is a big buzzword. Cyber is a big buzzword right now.
It is.
And really it encompasses anything to do with electronic information, digitally stored information, what we do online, what we do in our homes. Our cars are now linked to cyber.
Oh, wow.
So pretty much everything now is cyber. I used to be, 15 years ago, I was one of the few cyber cops. Now every cop is a cyber cop because they have to deal with it all the time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, I just want to just interject something. When you say you were one of the first ones, because?
I was one of the first because LAPD, I have to say, had the foresight to start up a cyber unit a long time ago. This was actually back in 1999 when they started it up. where most departments hadn't thought about having that back then. So we were kind of on the scene early, and we've had it for ever since. So nearly 20 years now.
Wow.
Give us an example of one of the more egregious problems that people are facing today.
Well, there's three big problems right now, and as far as hacks, intrusions that are happening to businesses and people, and that's basically, you've heard of ransomware?
Yes.
Yes,
Ransomware
yes.
is a very big issue right now, and it used to hit individuals, and now it's hitting corporations and businesses. There's also something they call business email compromise, and what that is where they will compromise an email, like the CEO of a company. They would steal his email account and then contact the treasurer or a secretary and have them wire money to them.
Oh, wow.
And right now the United States has lost billions with a B
my
of
Lord.
dollars because of this problem.
One of our friends, Chuck Ashman, that I mentioned
Yes.
before, tells the story of a friend of his with whom he has lunch once a month. A given
Ashman
place.
tells a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Well, this is I know this story.
Yeah.
It's a great story in this genre. And he had lunch with this fellow, and then that afternoon he gets an email saying that the man lost his wallet. He had a problem in Thailand. Please wire some money. He just left him having lunch with him. And the fellow said, and then when I get back, I'll repay you, and I'll see you there next month. He hadn't left.
Where he was.
Yep.
And, I mean,
How did they do that?
Yeah, well, it's because we give out a lot of our information. Okay. We just do. And I'll go into how that occurs and how we're helping these hackers as well. But we're giving out this information. They're taking this information and using it against us. They're using the reason the United States is such a huge target and why we are the #1 victim in cybercrime is because we're nice, honest, caring people. I don't ever want that to change, but we have to be more questioning now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but back to the reasoning here is basically it's what's called social engineering.
Oh.
And social engineering is nothing new, has nothing to do with the cyber age. Okay. Social engineering goes as far back as mankind, but I can give you one example being the Trojan horse.
Okay.
You know, they got them to bring in an army of people because they gave them something, and that's often the way it happens in real life. I'm going to give you $1 million, but you just got to pay a $10,000 fee to get the money. It's always a little bit of believing, along with a slight bit of greed, and you know, we all want to feel like we got that big payday. So there's a lot of issues with social engineering. A lot of it is because we are not securing our own information. It's not so much some crazy hacker in his basement, you know, sucking down Cokes and and eating Hot Pockets. Right. It's people just using what they know about you. And think about we're on Facebook.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
We're everywhere. We tell people our birthdays so we can say thank you and happy birthday to everybody. We tell everybody when we're on vacation.
That's true.
We tell everybody what we're doing on vacation. Yeah. We send pictures of our kids.
Our kids, grandkids.
Exactly. And it never, and so they know everything about you. This is something that 20, 30 years ago, they would have had to do a lot of research to find. Now, we're giving it to them. So social engineering is a huge problem, and we have to kind of come to grips with what information we are putting out there. And you know, I was talking to somebody a little earlier saying, when I was a kid, when I was 15 years old, I probably said some things that maybe I shouldn't have said. Maybe we all have, right?
Right, probably.
Young.
Right.
But it's no big deal. It's gone. Nobody knows that I said that. Today's 15-year-old, everything they say follows them the rest of their life. Not only everything they say, but everything they like. all of what their friends like, and it's going to follow them till they run for president, and it all comes back. So there's a lot of information out there, and we have to really decide what we want to put out there. So
what can we do to protect ourselves?
Well, the thing I tell I tell this to cops as well when I talk to them is the most important thing is if you're going to post something online, before you click that button or hit that enter key, think, would I take this post and put it above my house on a neon sign for everybody to see forever? Okay? And if you say yes, then fine, do it. But if you say no, which nobody would put a sign in their house saying, I'm in Venezuela on a lovely vacation. So
go rob my house.
And then send pictures up wherever you go.
Sure.
So yeah, that's one way to do it. That's number one. Number two is be extremely careful of what information you give out to whom.
We were talking about
that.
Yeah.
Because one of the big problems, and you were talking about the elderly and veterans, and which is definitely close to my heart, both of them. They tend to be scammers. There tend to be scammers that use the fact that they are veterans, the fact that they are elderly, and a lot of times, like with veterans, they'll come in as a fellow veteran. And veterans tend to respect and believe their own. So so they always have that over them. Semper Fi, hoorah, we're gonna get you going in this this amazing deal, and you're gonna make a lot of money. And I'm a Marine, you're a Marine, we'll do this. And we tend to believe that. So be very careful, do research. Google is an amazing tool. If you're not sure, go on Google. I tell people GTS, Google that stuff.
Yeah, this is a family show. Yes, stuff is the word.
Okay, I know.
I missed sound.
Yes, that's okay. One of the stories, and briefly, is a story. Again, horrific story. Woman's husband, a veteran, disabled, dies. And they're making the funeral arrangements, and somebody calls up and says, sorry I couldn't come to the funeral. We served together. If you ever need anything, you need help with the car, with your house. And next thing you know, her bank account was emptied. Any benefits she would have gotten, unbelievable to me. And now, of course, I believe it because I see over and over again these problems. How can you even defend against that?
And that people are willing to prey upon some of the most vulnerable people in society, and people that we respect and deserve to be, put at the forefront of society are getting hit by these criminals. I'll just use that word.
Right.
And
alleged criminals.
Well.
No,
when they're doing the crime, they're criminals.
They're a criminal, right?
Yeah. I didn't name anybody. So, how do you protect against that? It's like I was saying before. When somebody comes at you, telling you what you want to hear, it's very difficult for us to pull back. Because my mother is your age, and she's on Facebook, and she's very prolific on Facebook, and she does it a lot. And I try to keep up with her and say, hey, look, you can't give this kind of information out. She's pretty good at that, but we have to, just as we are watching our children, obviously online, we have to watch our parents and our grandparents as well, because it's all new. These kids today, they grew up on the internet.
Yes,
we didn't.
That's right.
So we need at least some assistance. And I say to a lot of seniors and people I'm talking, including myself, is listen a little bit to your kids. They've lived on this. They don't always know, but at least listen to them and see what they have to say, because this is something they grew up on, unlike us.
Well, I find that, I get, maybe because I'm in the entertainment field, because I'm always out there and working still at this age and everything. But say on my computer, I get a notice, someone emailed me. We have You've won a prize.
Okay.
But we lost some notes and stuff, and then all you got to do is just email us, where you want the prize sent and this and that, and I go delete. But I know to do that.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get to these seniors who are, shall we say, a little more naive about things?
It's really not naivete.
Okay.
It's again the fact that we're trusting as a people.
Right.
Yeah.
We believe that we are honest, and we believe everybody else is honest. It's not so much being naive; it's that this is new.
Yeah.
And it's all training. And I try to go out, as you know, and talk to them. And the more I would love to set up with some senior centers and go and teach them there, because seniors, especially ones that may be more on the homebound side, the internet is a godsend.
That's right.
They can talk to the family, so I don't want them to feel scared about going on.
Right.
So I'd like to help, push that.
Now, does the LAPD have like a task force of people that are cybersecurity ready? One.
You're looking at it.
Wait a minute. One. Oh boy. Okay. So.
No. We have a lot of experts, and obviously, because we're getting a lot of young cops that have come in with IT degrees and have a lot of knowledge, and we're trying to use that. The LAPD is very pro cybersecurity, and they're definitely going after cyber criminals, and they know that that's the future. And they let me do pretty much whatever I want as far as going and speaking, because they know that it's much easier to stop this crime than to prosecute it. A lot of these criminals are in other countries. Some we don't have treaties with. So even if we find them, we can't do anything.
Touch them.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they want us to go out and talk, and they let me do that.
Well, that's the question I want to ask you. Where are the most of these cyber criminals coming from? Out of our country?
Well, that's kind of difficult to say. There are probably just as many in the United States as there are out of the United States, because we have a lot of a criminal element in the United States, just like anywhere else. But we are seeing a lot in some Eastern Bloc countries, West Africa, and now also in some countries south, like Jamaica. And these are countries that with great people.
Yeah.
It's just to have this element that's doing it, and it's very difficult for us to trace, because the internet, as you know, is worldwide. It's like you are seen everywhere. Right.
Do you find, because of the knowledge that you must have for cyber stealing, whatever you want to call it, that it's a younger group of criminals? Because that's what I would think, because they know all about it.
That's a great question, but I found all ages.
Really?
All ages, because the younger element, especially the gang members, they realize that if they have a gun and rob somebody, they're going to prison for a long time, whereas if they type something on a computer, they might see a couple days in jail. So the younger group is going towards it, and the older groups that are doing it because they're not out in the workforce anymore, so this is a way to make some more money. A lot of times, especially senior citizens, are hooked into doing bad things online unknowingly.
Like what?
Well, it would be somebody that is possibly giving information or receiving packages for somebody else.
Okay.
And you understand what I'm saying? Actually putting out their own information, and they call it work-at-home scams.
Okay.
And maybe you've heard that. Yes. Yeah. And that's basically what they're doing.
So what do they ask us?
What they will do is they will let the criminals use their bank accounts. Run money through their bank accounts.
Really?
Yeah, and it's sometimes they don't realize what they're doing. They think they're actually making money. They say, hey, all we're doing is we're using you to send packages for us. And we need to use your bank account to pay the people. And we'll put $10,000 in your bank account and send us $8,000. You keep $2,000. And when somebody's out of work and they're living on Social Security, it can be...
There has to be that little bit of greed, and
Always
I can get
is.
away with it because I'm not really hurting anybody, and then I can
And
tell you...
it's not, yes, that's true, and it's not always that. I think a lot of times we just get fooled.
I was told a story just recently. 2 workmen came to a home, and the person was a senior citizen, and they said something about the fence looks like it really needs work, and they have a great price. One of them walked out with the homeowner to see the fence. The other one went in, ruffled through things, came up with a checkbook.
Oh, no.
The woman decided to do it. It was only $1,000, except before the end of the next day, they'd written a check for $35,000, converted it, and the people disappeared, and the local police were notified. They said, "There's nothing we can do."
Right. It's terrible.
You've got to be careful who you let in your house and who you let into your mind when you're dealing with.
If somebody wants to do work, don't have them do it right then. Do some research on it.
Right.
Tell your kids, tell your friends, ask if they know. If your fence needs to be repaired, find out from a friend who does that kind of work. Or if you want, you can contact us. You contact your local police department, and we'll assist you in something like that. Because how are we supposed to know if this business is righteous or not?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So let us help you with that.
USA Secret Service Electronic Crimes Task Force.
Yeah.
That was a long sentence here. Okay, tell me about that.
Well, as we were talking, the internet doesn't stop at the city borders, nor the state borders, nor the nation borders. It's worldwide. So luckily, we were able to work along with the United States Secret Service, who run the Electronic Crimes Task Force.
When did you first start to do that?
We started that almost 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
With them. Yeah,
Okay.
they've been supporting us, and we've been supporting them for a long time.
We had a representative at that meeting that we all attended.
Right. Yes. Exactly. We had that woman from the Secret Service, and we work very well with them. And the FBI is there, and CHP and other. It's great because we get to pool our resources, and that has worked out fantastically because they help us, we help them. They provide some training and equipment. They're obviously the federal money is a little better than city money, and we get to piggyback on that.
So what do you have, like meetings every now and then
We
to
work
find out
side
what
by
they,
side.
Okay,
We
like
work
if they
side
find
by
out
side.
something that you should know, they tell you right
They'll
away.
tell us right away, or if there's a case that maybe won't go federal, it'll go state, they'll hand it over to us, and we'll handle that.
One of the things
Vice versa.
I've heard you mention are passwords.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about...
Yeah, well, I need to know, but that's what I need to know about. Oh my God, you don't know.
I do.
I'm ashamed to say some of those things.
I usually have a PowerPoint that shows good and bad passwords. And passwords are something that people don't think about, but they are a huge problem right now. It's one of the reasons why we're getting hacked so much, because we have crazy, dumb passwords, and you know who you are. Okay,
a lot of people out there.
So yeah, that's a problem. And I try to tell people it's hard for us to remember long passwords, but I'm telling you, they should be long. They should be around 15 characters.
Really?
Not only that, you should have a different password for every website.
See?
How am I going to remember all that? I have a trick.
Okay, we're ready.
This is just for Pink Lady listeners.
Okay.
Okay. You think of a phrase, and it could be a Bible verse, could be a phrase you like, could be a song that's about maybe 12 to 15 characters long.
Okay.
Let's use Pink Lady Rocks.
Okay.
I know that's 12 characters, right?
Okay.
And we'll squeeze that together without the spaces. You have Pink Lady Rocks, 12 characters. Okay, then what you would do is you would take your vowels, which any sentence is going to have vowels in it, and you coordinate each vowel to a specific either number or symbol, making sure that you have at least 2 numbers and 2 symbols in there. So the A could be an @ sign. And this you can write down at first. Okay. You'll eventually remember this, believe it. So you can write it down at first because you're not writing down your password.
Right.
So you know that I is a 1 and an A is an @ sign.
Okay.
So now Pink Lady Rocks will look like P1 NK L @ sign BY. So it won't be in the dictionary because we try to tell people not to use anything in the dictionary. So it'll be completely out of the dictionary, but you can remember Pink Lady Rocks.
Right.
And then how do we make each site different? Well, because of the fact that you never know if there's going to be capital letters in your phrase, because the first letter might be an I, and then you'll change that into a symbol or a number. You take the last 2 or 3 letters are going to be capitalized, the first 2 or 3 letters in the website. So Pink Lady Rocks GOO for Google in capitals. So you know you're on Google. Well, I know my password's going to be Pink Lady Rocks GOO or GO, whatever, to make it at least 15 characters. So you're going to have there your symbols, your numbers, lowercase, capital, and every website's going to be different. Okay?
Wow.
And it's 15 characters. Almost. We have password cracking software that we use, and those passwords, we've tried them. They would take probably 1,000 years plus to crack.
Wow.
So don't use Pink Lady Rock.
No, don't
but
even
everyone
go
else
there.
out there will.
No, don't even go there.
But I just want to go over it really quick because
because
I
that's
don't want
really good.
Okay. You take a phrase such as Pink Lady Rocks, squish it together, no spaces. And the only reason we do that is some websites won't accept spaces, even though a space is just a character on a keyboard, but some don't expect it. So you have Pink Lady Rocks. You're going to write down on a piece of paper. Don't write down your passphrase on a piece of paper, please. Cops even do that. You're going to write down A-E-I-O-U, and you're going to say A is ampersand, whatever. E is the number 3, and you're going to. So you can always remember it. You can refer to it. Keep it in your wallet. You'll remember it after a couple of weeks, I promise. And then you'll have a long 12-character, 12, 13, 14-character passphrase with symbols and numbers and letters. And then to make them different, you're going to use the first 2 or 3 letters of the website. If it's Chase Bank, CHA. So you'll always know, but nobody else will know. Or you can make that in the beginning, whatever is easy for you. And there's no need to change passwords anymore. That's an old thing that we did. It's best to just use the only way to put that in there is to add these
phrases,
letters.
And phrases.
So it's just easier.
That
did I explain that
no,
well?
you did. I mean, I would never have thought of that. I would have just put, like a phrase, but I would never have taken like putting the I and making it something else.
It's
that
just something
really
to remember.
locks it in.
And then adding the 2 or 3 letters of the website keeps every website unique. You'll always remember it. Nobody else will know. And if one website, your bank website, they get your password from that, they won't get the passwords to all of your other sites.
For everything else. I have to be honest, I am old-fashioned, I have to tell you, and 90% of my life I'm not. But I do not put any bank information on my computer. I just don't. I don't do banking on my kids go, well, why not? Mom, it's fine. Or my grandkids, Pink Grandma. I mean, everybody does.
They call you Pink Grandma?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. That's great.
And my great-grandkids, because their mothers and dads are my grandkids, and they call me Pink Grandma, they double. Pink Gram. But I don't put any of my financial things on. I just don't. I'm just too nervous about that.
Okay, I understand that. However, online banking is very secure.
Really?
Very secure. It has come along very well now. And The other thing is, you have to remember, you're not responsible. That's the least of your worries.
Really?
If somebody gets into your credit card or your bank information and they use it, you're covered by the bank.
Yes, right.
Okay, they're going to get your money back. But if somebody hacks into your email, they're going to have all that information about you. Okay, so
that's worse, right.
it's very secure to do online. I wouldn't discourage anybody from doing online banking.
One of the things,
don't do it on a public computer.
Sure,
excuse me.
on your own computer.
Yeah, do it on your
One
own.
of the things I wanted to follow up on, you were talking about having these instructional opportunities well, one of the things that we know, because we're very much involved with City Council and the Board of Supervisors, they have health and resource fairs everywhere.
Yes.
Mitch O'Farrell, Mike Bonner, and Sheila Kuehl, I mean, they do these, and they get hundreds and hundreds of people. In fact, the last one that Pink provided entertainment for, they actually had bus loads of people picked up all over the community, and they came in, and there were people there from DWP and from all over. I would think that might be, I don't know if that's too large a crowd. What is the optimum?
I've spoken in front of 1,000 people before. It's a question of I speak best in front of a group where I can have a PowerPoint or video behind me and show them exactly what I'm doing. Just that password trick. Right. It's a lot easier to explain when I can point to it.
So what is the optimum number that you'd like, where you find it's more effective? Is it 250 versus 1,000?
I could do any number. That I haven't noticed that it's less effective if there's more people. Not yet, anyway.
Okay,
but I'm happy to do those. I love doing those.
Because something came to mind that I thought would be phenomenal. We're doing a project at the LA Fairplex, and they're going to be over 40,000 people.
Wow!
As people enter, the first section is called Heroes Corner, and it's all veterans.
Wow, great!
Veterans and active duty. And a lot a lot of them are senior veterans. They're retired.
Do you have like
age.
Pamphlets of like literature?
Is that a place?
We could give out? Or?
Yeah.
I can come up with something.
Yeah. Would that
that
we don't
be
have
fabulous.
anything.
Would that be something that you would like to be involved in?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay.
And LAPD would like to be involved in that.
Okay.
Because that's all veterans and their families.
The last one I was involved with was in July, and I think we had about 4,000. But this one is just humongous. It's a minimum 40 that have advanced registration.
Yeah.
So we know they're coming.
Well, you know that I do everything that I can when it comes to doing these presentations for veterans groups.
So what we're going to do tonight is I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to send you an email with 4 contact names and emails.
Right.
And then we can work together. We had a previous guest on the show. Matter of fact, her show will be broadcast tonight.
Okay.
And Donna Deutschman from Homes for Families.
Oh,
and they provide
Yeah.
housing for veterans.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now they're building another 300 or 400 homes. And you have to be a veteran to qualify.
It's like a family, a neighborhood, which I
the
love.
The things that you guys do are incredible.
Let me ask you one other question. You also teach at UC Irvine.
Yeah, I teach police officers. I teach cyber crime investigation and that kind of thing, and also cybersecurity to officers.
To officers.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that your cybersecurity at home affects your cybersecurity at work, and vice versa. And people don't think about that. I mean, how many people use their own cell phone, at work?
Many.
A lot, and cops do that, and I try to explain.
What is, tell me the consequence. I need to know.
I won't go into as much the consequence with cops, but I'll tell you what the consequence with everybody else is when you are using a work computer and you log on to Facebook, it is leaving little bits of information on that computer. And what it does, a lot of people, you've heard of cookies, right?
Cookies, yes.
That's what it leaves. It actually,
First, when someone said that, I thought, ooh, cookies.
Exactly, me too. That actually is a good thing, cookies. They make it so you don't have to constantly log in. It makes so Amazon knows who you are. But the problem is it commingles all this information. So if you're logging on at work and all of a sudden somebody else is logged on there on that same computer, it's going to start offering their friends to your friends and vice versa. And you can see where that would be an issue with cops using undercover things. So yeah, it's a
Let me
big
ask
problem.
you, I'm on Facebook.
Right.
I mean,
I know you are.
phenomenal, but I am on Facebook. What should I be aware of not to do?
Okay. Facebook, in and of itself, all the problems that it's had recently aside, is a very secure website. Okay. When you're in Facebook. Once you click on a URL, a uniform resource locator, where it takes you somewhere else, then you're gone. You don't know where you're going. And it may say it's taking you here, but it could take you there. And so be very aware of clicking on things. And that goes for inside emails, because Gmail is also very secure.
Oh, really?
Very secure.
Oh.
In fact, it's encrypted. However, if you click on something inside of Gmail, you're over. You're going wherever they take you.
Yeah, I keep getting these little messages that say the site to which we're going is not a secure site.
Yeah.
Do you want to go there anyway? And you say no.
No, yeah.
No, I don't
now,
wanna
some
go
of
there.
those, they might be a site that you know, and it could be that it's an insecure site. But yeah, just say no.
So to my audience out there today, I mean, I am like blessed with this gentleman, you know, sitting next to me. As I said, I feel 100% secure now. How do they reach your office if they have questions? I mean, or they want you to speak before their groups. How do they do that?
I am absolutely happy to come speak at any group, and that's from San Diego to Santa Barbara.
How do they get in touch with you?
213-533-4669.
Say that once again.
213-533-4669. It's the number to the Electronic Crimes Task Force. And we're happy to come and talk at any event.
And one of the things that I frequently tell our viewing audience is, if you didn't write that down, here's another way you can find him.
Right.
And that is to send an email to Pink Lady. When you came to this program, you saw her email and her phone number. Send us an email and we will forward it so that he will get it. And you will be able to have the benefit of everything that he knows, because we all need as much help as we can get, especially today.
And Andy, I cannot thank you and the
Thank you very
LAPD
much.
for what you're doing to keep us safe. And it's not just us, it's our families, our kids, our grandkids. I mean, to me, what you're doing is one of the most important jobs that LAPD can do, is to take their community really seriously and help us, not just with someone, say, robbing, but they are robbing us personally when it comes to cybersecurity.
No, and that's the way LAPD, they don't just arrest people. We're out there to protect people
Correct.
before they're arrested.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the people who sat in that seat at a previous taping was Mike Simonson with Officer Byrd, to teach children about safety with his macaw.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're reaching as many people as we can with as
thank you
much
for that.
information as we can.
So, my dear audience, again, it is like, where did the time go? I don't know where it went. It just disappears. So we will see you next time. Andy, officer, detective, LAPD gentlemen, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless everyone out there. Please keep safe. Think about cyber security when you do go on your computer, when you're on your iPhone or your iPads. God bless everyone. Keep safe out there.
Great. Andy, thank you for your service.
Thank you
so
for your
much.
service.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
You're listening to Pink Lady Presents, only on LA Talk Radio.